I want to get into a situation that happened on a train a couple weeks ago. It's probably a week ago. I was on the Long Island Railroad going from Atlantic Terminal to Hicksville. Transfer at Jamaica for all of you Long Island Railroaders out there. And let me just get rid of this screen 1 sec. All right, so I was on the Long Island Railroad about a week ago. And I thought I thought I was experiencing a fight breaking out on the train. And this is what happened. So I walked into the train. I had my headphones on. I was listening to a podcast like usual, trying to learn, trying to, get better every day. I think I was listening to Ari Shafir go on a rant about Skankfest. So that was how I was bettering myself. I was listening to Skankfest, which sounds dope, and it's an event that I'd like to go to one day. So I was listening to the podcast. I got on the train, and I hear this dull thud a couple times. Not enough for me to stop the podcast, but I was like, oh, okay. Like, I noticed it. I didn't think it was weird, but I noticed it. And then it started to get louder and louder and louder to the point where I stopped the podcast, took off my headphones, and I looked up, and for about 15 to 30 seconds, I was just listening, trying to figure out what was going on. And it sounded like someone was getting their ass kicked in the next car. So I was in the middle of one of the cars. There were about 15 more rows in front of me, then a bathroom, and then the next car started. And the door was open to the next car, and it sounded like punching, it sounded like thuds against the train, someone getting their ass kicked. And I thought to myself, well, that's not good. First of all, someone should probably call a police officer or get the attention of a police officer that is around, because there are a lot in Atlantic Terminal. And is this fight going to carry over into my train? Does this person have weapons? Like, do they have a knife on the train, gun? Like, I don't fucking know. There's two guys that sound like they're beating the shit out of each other. And so, also, is there anything I can do? And I didn't have any plans to intervene if it was a fight. What I probably would have done is call someone over, like a police officer who's more equipped to handle it. If it's just two guys fighting, there's no reason, I thought, to get in the middle of that. So I packed up my shit and started to get off the train, got up. And then as I was getting up, and I was going to go out the back entrance of the car and kind of circle back around to the car in front of me so I could see more accurately what was going on. Because again, I didn't see it. I just heard these pounding noises, which sounded like the train over, the car over. All right, and as I was getting up, a policeman, or two policemen actually, came into the car, and instead of paying attention to the car in front of me, they actually got onto my car, but were looking at the bathroom. So the bathroom, if you've ever been on the LIRR, there are some cars with bathrooms, and the bathrooms are at the end. So I was sitting in the middle of my car, and the bathroom is at the end of my car in front of me. And so I thought the fight was past the bathroom in the next car, and I just couldn't see it. But the police actually started knocking on the bathroom and said, "Come out, come out, come out." And the pounding kept getting louder. Like, it sounded like people were just banging against the door, and you could hear some voices. And I still had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like, is there some guy, that is high as fuck, beating the shit out of someone else or himself? Is he just banging his head against the wall? That's what I thought. It sounded like someone banging their head against the bathroom door. And then the police, by the way, they were there for a minute saying, get out, get out, get out. And they were kind of laughing. And I was like, that's weird. The police officers are laughing to each other. And it seemed like this was something that they may have dealt with before. And so eventually the door opens up. Two guys get out. A black guy and a white guy that looked around younger than me. So around 19, 20, 21 years old, maybe. One of them was pulling up his pants. The white guy was pulling up his pants as he got out. The black guy just got out. And it became apparent to me that I think these guys were fucking each other in the train. And so what I thought was a street fight of some dude pounding the shit out of another dude actually turned out not to be that inaccurate. That some dude was indeed pounding the shit out of another dude. And the police officers kept laughing. They weren't really laughing, but you could tell they had like smirks on their face. And this was not the first time they got two guys out of the train who were fucking. They clearly had some calls about homeless guys fucking each other. And again, I don't know if these people were homeless. It's hard to tell in Brooklyn because people dress like they're homeless that are worth $10 million. And, you know, some people that are worth nothing spend all their money on clothes. So, like, I'm not going to say they were homeless. They looked relatively clean. Definitely were on some sort of speed or meth or coke because they were just like so talkative and then talking to police officers like, yeah, I got to get on this next train. I got to get on this next train. I need to get to Ronkonkoma. I need to get, and the policeman was like, dude, you're not getting on this train. You just traumatize these people, getting your ass fucked. There's like kids on this train too. And, you know, not that kids can't handle gay sex, but like, you know, don't get railed out loudly in the middle of a train when it's stopped and you're trying to get somewhere. So that was the kind of what I took away from this is that if you're going to get your ass fucked on a train, do it quietly so that you're not disturbing other people, because then no one would have known. The police wouldn't have been called. There would have been any noise, and it would have just been two guys calmly getting out of the bathroom and then going back to their seats, which would have been absolutely fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with sex on public transportation, like a plane or a train, as long as you are not visible to other people and you're going about it in a respectable manner. And these two gay guys were not respectable. And I did not appreciate that. And neither did the other passengers, but it was an experience. And this was what I was thinking about after the incident. So after the incident, I was thinking about, okay, what if this was originally what I thought it was, which was two guys fighting, one guy beating the shit out of another guy. When is it okay, or not when is it okay, but when should a guy step into a street fight? When do you make it your business as a guy? You know, I have a background in lifting for baseball, relatively strong for my size. I'm 5'11", 6 feet, fluctuate between 175 and 180. You know, I've been squatting and deadlifting my entire life for baseball lifting. So I'm a lighter now, about 10 to 15 pounds lighter now than when I was playing baseball. But still, I would say I'm above average strength for my size. And I have about a year, maybe a little bit over a year of practicing Muay Thai. So I know that I'm still a baby in Muay Thai standards. I'm only a year in, but I know the fundamentals. I know how to throw those 8 limbs. You know what I'm saying? I could throw a bow. I could throw a knee. Feel pretty confident in sparring sessions. You know, playing around a little bit. Never been in a sanctioned fight, but I feel like I'm coming into my own in sparring. But my question, and maybe you could comment this or DM me your answer. If you have experience fighting, if you've fought in sanctioned fights, or you have more experience breaking up fights, maybe you're a bouncer, security guard. When should you step into a street fight? Like, when is it your duty to step into a street fight? Because I don't know what I would have done. If it was one guy beating the shit out of another guy, beating the shit out of another guy one on one, my thinking is it's not my problem. These two guys are fighting. I would call the police or get a policeman's attention if it's in somewhere like a train station, airport, where there are police all over the place and they can take care of it. I don't want to put my life in danger. I don't know what I'm getting into. I have no fucking clue how this started. So one-on-one guy, I would say absolutely not. I'm calling someone over, like a police officer or security guard, to handle it, and I'm staying as far back away as I can. It is not my job to step into a one-on-one street fight. If, however, one of them is like stomping on the dude's skull or just kicking him and he looks unconscious, maybe I would say something like, dude, I think it's over, or I think you won. And hopefully, or say I called the police or something like that. Like, I would say I'm calling the police, and hopefully that would get that person to stop. And then, so one-on-one, I would think, there's never a reason for me to get on a one-on-one fight between two guys, a guy and a female. Maybe I would be more likely to step in if it was a guy beating the shit out of his, wife or girlfriend, and clearly she was at a disadvantage. But again, what happens if the wife is pissed off at me for stepping in the middle of it, and she's like, yo, don't get in the middle of our business, and I get stabbed from behind, or maybe the guy has a knife or a gun. I don't know what people have on them. So that was also running through my head before the police officers get on the train. It's like, what if I get in the middle of this fight and I get stabbed? Is it really worth it to stop a fight? I would say, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, like, or gang, like fucking gang fights, like 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not stepping in the middle of that shit. That's you're stepping into a Travis Scott concert. That's literally what some fights are. It's like you're stepping into a Travis Scott concert. A lot of times people are drunk, especially in fights with a lot of people. You never know who's for who, especially if you didn't see the fight start. If you didn't see the beginning of the fight, you really have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, you could see a guy beating the shit out of another guy, but maybe that guy tried to come out of nowhere and sucker punch that dude first. And so, understandably, the guy was like, fuck this. I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. And, you don't know. Unless you see a fight transpire from the beginning, you really are guessing at the situation. So yeah, if anyone with fighting experience who, it's either your job to break up fights, or you have experience in breaking up fights, or you've seen breaking up street fights go absolutely wrong, or maybe you've had success breaking up street fights, and ideally, you also have some sort of training in jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, judo, something to help defend yourself. When do you know to step into a street fight? Because chances are I'll probably see a few more of these in my lifetime. And I would like someone's opinion who is more qualified than me to let me know, when is the right time to step in? When is the situation guy on girl, guy on guy, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 3-on-3? Like, what if you didn't see the beginning of the fight? The two most concerning variables to me are not knowing if one or both or all people involved have weapons, knives or guns that are easily concealable. Also, not seeing the beginning of a fight. So maybe it's over something like drugs or betting. One person owes the other person a lot of money, and you're not just stepping into a fight, you're stepping into someone's livelihood, and they fucking kill you, beat the shit out of you, because why do they give a fuck about you and your life? And I would say third, I'd be worried about everyone in the fight turning against me. Like I said, maybe a guy's arguing with his wife and fucking slaps her and hits her. But in a lot of those situations, the wife is also supportive of the guy. So maybe you step in and hit the guy or do something to him, and the wife comes back and fucking strangles you from behind, and you're now getting your ass kicked by an angry guy and his angry wife who may or may not have weapons. So I don't know. And I'm not looking for a one size fits all answer because again, I have no fucking clue. Not that I have no clue, but there's a lot of variables, and each situation deserves its own breakdown and instinctual kind of like instinctual on the spot taking in the situation and going, okay, this is what's going on. There's not going to be a one size fits all answer, like definitely step into this if it's a street fight and don't step into this. There's going to be different different things you can do for different situations. So I completely understand that. Let me know if you have any experience. When should you step into a street fight? When should you not step into a street fight? I'd love to hear some people's opinions. There's been a lot of fighting. The main theme of this podcast has definitely been fighting and people dying tragically. And one thing is for sure that someone should have stepped in much, much sooner for the Travis Scott concert. That someone who and it's unfortunate because there were a lot of people who stepped up in the crowd that were trying anything to get attention over the loudness and the speakers and the hecticness and Travis Scott and his crew and his team continuing the concert. There were a lot of people who were trying anything desperately to like scream at the top of their lungs, wave their hands, climb up onto stage and tell people there are people fucking dead in this crowd. So it's unfortunate that the people that should have been looking out for danger and the people that had the power to draw attention to the people dying did not rise to the same level that some people did in the crowd. Some people in the crowd were, responded beautifully, and they didn't have a microphone. They didn't have what was necessary to help people. They needed paramedics sooner, and they needed Travis Scott to stop the concert and do whatever he had to do and follow some sort of protocol to get these people help, and that did not happen. And again, I'm just one person, like I said, reading an article on the spot, giving my opinion, watching footage of what happened, and you may have a different opinion on the situation, and that's okay. And so, yeah, I want to leave this on a brighter note, which is I'm hopeful for the future of concerts. I'm hopeful for the future of festivals. The positive note is that it's good that concerts are coming back. I was just at GovBall a few weeks ago. I fucking love concerts. And we definitely need some more structure in the way that festival response is handled, because it failed miserably in this situation. But I'm hopeful for the future. I'm excited to go to more live events. I'm going to a stand-up comedy show this weekend in Tysons, Virginia, to see Taylor Tomlinson. I'm sure I'm going to go to more concerts over the winter and the spring. I will definitely check out some more festivals. And so, and also I want to make the point that I love Travis Scott's music. I have the Astroworld album cover hanging in my room, and his music has given me great joy, and great, good times. I've gotten fucked up, gotten high, worked out. I've done everything to Travis Scott. Unfortunately, I've never been in a situation like the one that was at the Astroworld Festival, and so I don't know. I don't know exactly what he saw. Only he knows what he saw, what he could have done. This is speculation. I'm looking forward to concerts. I hope everyone else is safely taking advantage of concerts and live events too. And it sucks that this happened, and I'm also excited for the future. I want the right things to be put in place so that this doesn't happen again, and that people can go to festivals more safely. And thank you for listening to this episode. Again, I appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're still listening to this an hour and 5 minutes in, you are fucking amazing. You're an all-star. You can also become an AUXORO premium subscriber if you like. I put bonus episodes up every month, 3+ hours of episodes released every month, found nowhere else but AUXORO Premium. Go to auxoro.supercast.tech to check it out. And I put up one extra solo per month, and then I also put up a bonus conversation on the aux. And we talk about things like the COVID lab leak. I'm putting up one right now that is on ayahuasca. Just recorded one on ayahuasca that is now out live on the aux. I also recorded, I'm about to record one on the Dark Knight. We have the obesity epidemic up there. We have the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, the rise of Tim Dillon, Bruce Lee, CBD, just like any topic that's interesting. We take a week to dive into it, and I talk about it with my brother, my friends, others, anyone who wants to talk about a topic with me and do some research and have an exciting discussion. So if you guys want those extra episodes, go to auxoro.supercast.com. Link in the description wherever you're watching this or listening to this, and have a beautiful day. I will talk to you guys next time.